Hey family, I am Ashley B. If this is your first time joining my channel, thank you and welcome. I am a life coach and I am a kingdom speaker for God. We're going to hop right into this message. Today we are talking about triggers. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Let's get this healing. Let's get this encouragement through these words, through this message. So we're gonna dive right in. First of all, let's talk about what are triggers. Why are we so easily triggered by things? You know, what does triggers do for us? How does that show up for us, right? So we're gonna talk about triggers. First of all, we have to understand that triggers are a result of, you know, memories or feelings that come from like traumatic experiences that we've been through, a certain traumatic experience or experiences. You know, the triggers come from the pain that we have endured from past situations, from the pain that we have suffered, you know, from, you know, just from our past, from people that have hurt us, from, you know, our childhood, whatever the case may be. That's where triggers stem from. That's where triggers come from. So let's talk about this, right? Have you ever been in a situation where, like, say for example, you on the phone with somebody, you're talking about somebody, and they might bring up something. They might even bring up a specific person that you used to deal with from the past, a specific situation that happened from the past. And have you ever been in a situation with, like, at the name of that person, just somebody bringing up their name, it gets you so angry, it gets you so mad, it gets you so bent out of shape. It just does something in your body. You tense up, you just get so upset and angry just at the thought of this person's name, just at the, you know, the sound of this person's name. This person, it does something in you, and it just affects you in that moment. That is considered a trigger. That is a trigger when something can come up from your past, whatever it may be, a name, a person, an experience, and you start feeling those things. It takes you right back to that pain. It takes you back to that experience, and, you know, and you're affected by it. These are the things that are triggers. It can be anything. It can be, you know, something that you read, something that you hear, like I said, maybe talking to a family member, a friend, or whatever, and they're bringing up that situation or whatever. It can come from literally anything. It could just come from a thought. You might just be letting your thoughts float around in your mind, and then you instantly start thinking about that situation. You're instantly affected by that situation. Those things are triggers. So let's talk about it. I really want to encourage you all with how you can start to deal with these triggers, what you can do to start helping you when it comes to triggers. But the first thing I want to talk about, before we kind of dive into that, the first thing I want to talk about is to understand how triggers can actually be good for you. Now, let's talk about how triggers can be good for you, right? Now, see, here's the thing when it comes to triggers, right? When you are being triggered by certain things, this is helping you when it comes to your healing, when it comes to your journey, because you're able to identify those areas in your heart, in your mind, that's still affecting you, that needs work, that needs to be added to your self-work, that needs to be, you know, it needs to be addressed. And so the good thing about you having triggers is that, you know, you those things happen and you able to sit and self-reflect and you know, ask yourself these questions. Why is this coming up? Especially if you're in a place where, you know, you feel like you've gotten over certain things, or, you know, your mind isn't at those certain places anymore. You feel like you've forgiven certain things. You feel like you've let certain things go. But then when those triggers come up, it's affecting you. You know, you might even be in a situation where you start crying, you ready to start crying. It just does something for you. And so it's good for you to be able to sit back and think and reflect and ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself those hard questions. What is happening in me? What is happening in my heart? What is still lingering around within me that's causing me to be triggered by this situation, that's causing me to be, you know, to be affected by this situation? And then not only that, those same things that you are triggered by, those is good, because those are the same things that you're able to take to God and be honest about it. Lord, I just had this triggering situation. I don't know why this is coming up. I don't know why this is affecting me, but God, I give it to you, because I ask that you search my heart about this. It's bothering me. It just conjured up some anger in me. It just conjured up some bitterness in me, some animosity in me. It just took me to a low moment. It just took me to a place that I'm not trying to go back to, God. And so there's something that's operating. There's something that's lingering in my heart. There's something that's lingering within me that I need your partnering. I need your partnering with this. You know what I mean? I need you to help me. I need you to continue to heal me from these things. I don't know why they're coming up, God, but I give it to you. I give it to you to search my heart, to work on these things so that I can continue to heal, so that I can continue to be set free from these things, so I can continue to be delivered from these things. So that's why sometimes triggers are a good thing. It could be good for you, because you need to know these things. You need to be able to address them so God can continue to work in your heart, so God can continue to heal you from those things that that you ultimately want to be free from, so that you can continue to move forward, move on, be free from the past, walk in forgiveness. You know what I mean? Be free from the things that hurt you, the pain and all of those things, right? Okay, so that's how triggers can be good for you. Now, but let's talk about how I want to really encourage somebody when, triggers may come up for you. And what it is that I want you to understand about this is that triggers are a direct result of the enemy. Like it's a direct trick and tactic and scheme of the enemy. And there's so many things that he tries to do with triggers, right? So first of all, like when you have triggers, what can happen when you start having triggers is that you might start ruminating about, old feelings, old thoughts. And like I said, that can instantly take you into a low moment. You could possibly start feeling sorry for yourself all over again. You could possibly start doubting yourself. You could possibly start get into a place of low self-worth, because you're thinking about these past things. You're thinking about how they affected you. You're being taken back to that memory or that feeling from the past hurt, from the past trauma. And so the devil sets those things up because that's where he wants you to be. He wants you to stay stuck in the past. He wants you to stay stuck in the negative feelings. And so he will use triggers. He would use triggers to like taunt you. He would use triggers to, to keep you stuck, to keep you bound. He will use them to try to make you go backwards. You know what I mean? Make you go backwards. And like I said, he would try to cause doubt in your mind. Not only that, he would try to cause doubt in your mind. And so say, like, for example, say you're going through your healing journey, right? And let me just say this. Let me just say this, when it comes to your healing journey, when it comes to you like really walking in healing, you really walking in deliverance and transformation and moving forward from all your past trauma, all the things that hurt you and all those things, you know that you are truly healing and walking in the healing journey when your hope is renewed, when your strength is renewed. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So when you start getting to a place of feeling hope again, when you start getting to a place of like regained strength, you finding yourself again, you back in a happy place, you back, ready to move forward. That is key to your healing journey. That's how you know that you are healing. That's how you know that you are on the right path. Because it takes a lot for you to get back to a place of hope when you've been broken, when you've been depressed, when you've been down, when you've lost your vision, when you've lost your way. But when you get to a place of feeling that hope, that strength again, that is healing. That is healing. That is God healing you and putting you back on the path towards your destiny. And so what we have to understand is that the devil doesn't want you to be on that path. He doesn't want you to be moving towards your destiny. He doesn't want you to be doing what God called you to do. He doesn't want you to be walking in your purpose. He wants you to be miserable. He wants you to be stuck. He wants you to continue to identify with the hurt and the pain and, you know, be stuck in the past, be stuck in your old ways, stuck as a victim. Those are all the schemes and the tactics of the enemy. That's what he seeks to do through the lies and the deception and through things like triggers. He wants you to stay attached to those things, right? And so when it comes to triggers, what we have to start understanding is those tricks, is those schemes, and understanding that it's nothing more than the enemy trying to cause doubt and trying to place these lies in your mind about where. And see, this is taking me right into the main point that I want to make about what the devil is trying to do through your triggers. So since we're talking about this healing journey, the devil wants to place doubt in your mind about where you are, about your healing, about like how far you've come, about where you are in your journey, about where you've come from whatever your situation may have looked like. He wants to cause doubt. So he will use triggers, because see, this is the type of stuff that the enemy does, right? Through your triggers, he will start placing things in your mind, like he will start putting doubt in your mind, like that, oh, see, because this is coming up, because you're crying about this, because this has affected you, you still stuck. You ain't forgiven that person. You haven't forgiven that person. You not healing. You still stuck. You still stuck in the past. You still hurting. That's what he wants. That's what he wants you to think. So through those triggers, you'll start thinking, like, you start questioning yourself. You'll start questioning your journey and your healing. Like, am I healed? Am I really set free? Because if I really was healed, this wouldn't be coming up. If I really was healed, this wouldn't be affecting me like this. No, you have to understand that that is nothing more than the tricks and the schemes of the enemy. Do not let the enemy put this doubt. Do not let the enemy put this doubt in your mind about your journey, about what God is doing for you. We have to understand, I say this in a lot of my videos, we have to understand that this is a process. This is a process. It takes time. Don't you ever doubt your transformation. Don't you ever doubt your journey. Don't you ever doubt what you have accomplished. Don't doubt where you have come from in your journey. Don't doubt that. Don't doubt. It don't matter if it's taking 3 months, 6 months, a year. Do not doubt that. God is doing a new thing. God is working in you. God is working out these areas in your heart, in your mind, in your life. He's doing something. He's doing things behind the scene. He's doing things in your face. He's doing things in your heart. He is healing you from all these things. Not only if you just, if it's a particular situation that you've gone through that caused the pain, that caused the hurt, and the reason why you're going through your healing journey, he's not only working on that particular situation, he is also working on the things of the past, things from back then that you don't even realize. He's also working on things that you didn't even know needed to be worked on. You didn't even know that God needed to search these things. You didn't even know that God needed to bring these things up to the surface for you to address them so that you can be whole, so that you can be healed and whole and complete, so that you know that you are enough, so that you never go back to thinking so cheaply of yourself, so that you never go back to how you used to view things and look at things. He's healing every area of your heart. From all situations, all trauma, all pain. And that's what the devil is trying to keep you from understanding. That's what the devil is trying to keep you from not believing that you're healing, that you're changing, that what you've gone through, whatever it is that you endured, that it was good for you. That all things are working out for your good. And so I just want to encourage somebody that, when it comes to these triggers, Don't second guess yourself. Don't second guess your journey. Don't go backwards. Understand the tricks and the schemes of the enemy. Understand what it is that he's trying to do. Understand the doubt that he is trying to place in your mind about where you are, about where you're going, moving forward, moving on into your victory, moving on into the things that God has for you. He wants to paint these negative pictures in your mind through your triggers. He wants you to be angry. He wants you to be upset about those things. But ultimately, we want to continue to heal from those things. We want to be able to forgive ourselves, forgive, people from our past, forgive our past, and continue to move forward, continue to move on into our destiny. And so I hope that this helps somebody. I hope that this encourages you when it comes to your triggers, especially if you're somebody that's going through your healing journey and you feel and you become affected by this, and you start doubting yourself. You start feeling like feeling low and feeling sorry for yourself. Don't do that. Recognize the tricks and the schemes of the enemy, and you keep moving forward. Take it to God. God, this is what's happening. This just came up today. I just heard this. I just so happened to be watching something. And when I watched that, I started crying. I started tearing up because it took me back to that low moment in my life. It took me back to thinking about that stuff and it took me back to that low self-esteem and that low self-worth of myself when I was in that situation, when I was going through that. It took me right back to that. But God, I give it to you so that you can heal those areas of my heart. Continue to heal those areas of my heart, God, and continue to work in me so that I can be healed, so that I can be whole, and so that I can continue to move forward. I love you guys. I hope this helps somebody. I hope that this encourages you. I will see you in the next video. I love you guys.